Good afternoon from the Circus Sports, the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. The Vols got a big win last night at Mississippi State, 73-64. Jacoby Gillespie put up 18 to lead the Vols in scoring. Nate Ament had 16, and J.P. Estrella notched 12 points. Tennessee will host LSU on Saturday in Knoxville with tip-off at 5 p.m. Central. Also yesterday, in some NFL news, the Miami Dolphins hired former Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo as their new pass game coordinator, alongside offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick. The Atlanta Falcons also hired former Rams special teams coordinator Chase Blackburn as their new assistant special teams coach. And the Chiefs are hiring former Cowboys and Titans running back DeMarco Murray as their new running backs coach. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Season Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're live at T-Line here in Duluth Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah,
it's a expansive.
Man, this is pretty nice.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
You got they're bold.
You got what? A couple of curling rinks here. Is that rinks? Lanes?
Is that what you call it? We got to ask Kirby.
Well, we're being joined now by two-time Pro Bowl quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, Mark Bulger. Mark, first off, I have to say this. Back in 2003 and 2004, you won me some fantasy football championships. So it's a great honor here from your 2003-2004 season. So Ralph the Ring.
Yeah, we got to give you that.
Thank
He
you.
wants you some points.
Hey, listen, I haven't won a lot, so this is actually pretty big.
That's right when people start switching over to rooting for players than teams, believe it or not, with the fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So I've been here before, and when we were doing the curling stuff with a party that we were with, I kept seeing all the Rams stuff. And then I go into the bathroom, and I see more pictures of Mark Bulger, the Rams, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I had to ask them, I was like, what's with all the Rams stuff? And they told us that you were big into curling, obviously your establishment and all that stuff. Talk about, T-Line, talk about your love for curling and how you kind of got to that situation.
Yeah, I'll make it quick or brief. I moved here in about 17 with my family, and Jared Allen, I think you remember him. New Hall of Famer. New Hall of Famer. Yeah. He had moved here the same time. He gave me a call, and he had some bet he wanted to be an Olympian curler. I said, okay. So he calls Keith Bullock, and then Mike Roos. So 4 NFL guys he called to make a team. We started training up north in Duluth and Eveleth and Fargo and all these places, and Blaine, Minnesota. Training, and then COVID hit, and we couldn't train as much after 2 years. So the Olympic thing kind of went away, and I thought living here with all the bars, and you got Hermitage, you got the Ryman, you have everything, but why not bring it to Nashville and give another alternative for fun? I mean, it's kind of the new Vegas, and found this building and fell in love with the sport. So I've only been doing it since 2018, and I fell in love with it.
Well, listen, it's a lot. People probably don't realize it's just from based off the TV, but it is a lot more physically exhausting than I think the people think.
It is. Again, it's on ice, so your balance is the number one thing. You get in that position, and as long as you have balance, then you can work on the throwing and everything else. The good thing is that if you fall, when you're sliding, you're only about a foot and a half off the ice, and you slide, and it's a lot more safe than I think first-time curlers believe.
I mean, obviously, being in Nashville since 2017, you've seen you may not follow closely the Tennessee Titans, but you probably have seen a lot of quarterbacks come through it with the Tennessee Titans. And I'm sure you kind of kept an eye on Cam Ward here and there. What have you seen from him so far, and what confidence what do you see from him as far as a young quarterback, and maybe what he could bring to a franchise that's failed to kind of find a quarterback in the last few years?
Yeah, I know the expectations. It was the first, well, I don't, but his first overall pick. And, I mean, that's kind of an unfair situation to put him in. I think they're obviously in a rebuilding process anyways. And then it's so fast when you go from college to the NFL. The speed change is so different. And for him to try to catch up with that, let alone not having the best supporting cast. I think last year, believe it or not, was a great thing for him, not the losing, but all the reps he got. I think, was it to the last game, he hadn't missed a snap.
Right.
And he went out in the last game, but for him to make it through the whole season healthy and all that experience, it'll pay off next year.
We're here with a curling expert and former Pro Bowl quarterback Mark Bulger of the Rams here at T-Line in Nashville, just off Duluth. We'll be here all the way till 7 p.m.
Well, Mark, thanks for coming on, man. I guess first, explain the fundamentals of curling. Like, there's 4 guys, correct? Mm-hmm. And as I understand it, you were, I guess, number 1, the first, person who throws what do they call it, the rock
lead.
Or the lead.
The
okay,
lead, yeah.
To explain that and how that decision came about and why that's so important when you're curling.
When I originally started, I thought I'd be Skip, who makes the calls and throws last. So that's, because it comes down to the final 2 stones, and because everyone on the team of the 4 throws. Everyone throws 2 stones.
Stones, they call it stones.
Or rocks. Either or.
Rocks.
Like
stones or rocks.
Stones or rocks.
Okay, got you. That's okay.
Yes, and Jared Allen decided, no, I'm Skip, and how am I going to argue with him?
You didn't argue with him?
No.
You're supposed to be strategic. You're a quarterback. Like, you're supposed to, sell your point. You're like, no, Jared, I think you'll be better. Sell him on that he's better as a start. That's what you got to do.
I had the refs to protect me from on the football field, but in public, no, I'm not messing with him. So I threw lead, which was first, which is sometimes a little more difficult because you don't know if the ice is how fast it is quite yet.
So they use you as a gauge.
Yes, and we time everything from, they call the circle the house there, and then there's the 2 hog lines, and then the button's the middle. But the goal, I try to explain curling, it's closest to the pin contest, like in golf, except it's scored like shuffleboard. So only the stones with your color inside of the opposing team's closest color count. So it could look like you have 7, or you could have 7 in the house, but if their second stone is second furthest out from your first, you only get 1 point. So it's a lot of strategy goes into curling.
How did you, I guess, feel like you did as the lead on that? Did the strategy come about that you were the best?
The strategy was whatever Jared said.
Oh my!
You throw it here.
So win or lose.
So it didn't matter.
Fault.
It was always about Jared.
Hey, I'll give.
I'm gonna have to give KB a call, man. I did play with him for 3 years.
Keith he threw third. He was the vice. He was a heck of a curler.
Yeah.
He was hitting a lot. Believe it or not, he would hit a lot of the stones out. And I mean, Mike was a great player too. But I would say Jared did. He did his homework and his studying. So we trusted everything. When he made a call, that's who you go with, and that's kind of the main role in curling. The skip makes the call. You don't talk back. You do it. So everyone's on the same page. And everyone, if you watch on TV, the skip puts or whoever's holding the broom, that's the aiming point. You just aim at that, and then if it's off a little bit, that's when the sweeping and the curling starts to try to move the stone a little bit off from where you threw it if it was off of the broom that they're holding.
All right. Well, cool. Well,
I know it's a lot.
It's a lot, so we don't want to overwhelm everybody. So let's go a little bit in a different direction with your career. I don't know if this stat is still true today, that you were one of the first to have the most completion, I guess over 1,000 completions or so in their beginning of their career. Does that still hold true, and did you even know that?
I've heard it. I think it does. And I think I was the fastest to 15,000 yards.
Yeah, okay.
Something like that.
I think you do know.
Hey, I got 2 daughters. They just look at me as dad. I got to have something to say.
Right.
They didn't even know I played football. They looked at me and go, how do you play against them? I'm like, that's why I walk the way I do now.
Oh, my.
Getting hit from all the guys like you.
No, I didn't get a chance. I guess you were.
Keith did, though.
Yeah, KB definitely did.
To be fair, I did look that up just in case you all may have played like in the first 2 years that you started playing for the Rams to see if maybe if you did hit him or get a sack, but you
never
did no
know.
cross.
No, I don't think. But I definitely got to go against the greatest show on turf, right?
Right after them, yep.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about when you got out there and got to, how confident you were when you got out there, seeing how it already worked. You had seen it. You had to have people, think that most professional athletes just get off the bus and just really have all things together and believe in themselves. But what made you get to the point where you believed that you could run it after following the great Kurt Warner? Like, oh man, I can make this thing work just like him, and maybe I'll put my spin on it with the same guys, older guys, by the way, at that time, Torrey Hope, Bruce Bruce and Falk naturally was the key cog of the whole thing. So how did that kind of work? And take us through that process with your mental, capacity to think that and confident that you had to grow to believe that you could be the guy.
Yeah, I came out of college. I had injuries on my senior year, so I didn't get drafted till the 6th round. I was about 15 picks ahead of Tom Brady, believe it or not. Same round, same year, everything. And so I had that chip on my shoulder. I got drafted by New Orleans. Didn't get into a preseason game and was cut, went home, trained for a year. Thought I was pretty much done.
Oh, wow. So
And Mike Martz, became the head coach, said, I want you on the team next year. And got on the team, made the team somehow from an injury, his 3rd string. And I got to watch Kurt Warner prepare, run the best offense in the league. We go to the Super Bowl my first year. We do all that, and so I got to learn so much from that one year. The second year, we start out 0-5. Kurt breaks a finger, and our backup gets hurt the next week, and I'm in, and I came out and started out 7-0. Played well, but it was Kurt Warner, so I came back the next season. Still his job.
Right,
I mean, it's Kurt Warner, 2-time NFL MVP, but that first time I stepped in the huddle, though, and like you mentioned before, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Orlando Pace, Marshall Falk.
Oh, my gosh.
Timmerman, I got Aeneas Williams. I mean, these guys are...
London Fletcher.
Yeah. Grant Wistrom. I'm with these guys. I literally, the year before, had a fantasy team. Isaac Bruce was on my fantasy team. And now I'm in the huddle with them telling him what to do. It was surreal.
That is crazy.
I had to throw that all out the window and just go back to studying how hard I did. And Coach Martz demanded it. And Kurt Warner helped me so much. Showed me how it was to be a professional. Because a lot of college kids come out and they don't understand. This is your job. And you're trying to take someone's job. That's their mortgage. This isn't about a girlfriend in college. This is real money.
Not fun and games, right?
It's not fun and games anymore. So, but like you mentioned before, it's the Monday to Saturday night. That preparation, that's what people don't see. It looks fun on Sundays, but check out that cold tub Monday mornings. It's not so fun.
Yeah. People don't see that side of it, right? They just see all the glitz and glam. I guess another thing, being that I played against the Rams in the Super Bowl, Martz, man, he was so intense. Dick Vermeil was a great human being. You could tell he was kind of very relaxed. But Martz, man, what was it like with, Martz is calling the plays and, going to those meetings? He seemed like he was a really intense guy for an offensive play caller. It was just kind of interesting to me because usually they're kind of mild-mannered guys. He didn't kind of fit that bill based off what I saw just from the sidelines.
No, you're 100% right, and I learned that even more once he wasn't the head coach. I said, this is normal. The head coach runs your quarterback meeting, but it was he was offensive coordinator for the Super Bowl in '99. He just took over when Coach Vermeil retired, and he was the head coach, but he was still quarterback coach, offense coordinator, head coach, and he knew the offense better than anyone, and then quarterbacks knew it second, and the rest of the coaches knew it third. So it was, here's what you're going to do, and if you didn't take 7-step drop, hitch, and throw it on a 4-route, say, or 3 steps, no hitch to a 2-route, it was programming. But you had to study, 10 hours a day, and then you go home. It's 3 more hours at night. And I watched a lot of quarterbacks come and go, usually around the 2nd, 3rd string quarterbacks in my career, because it would only take 1 or 2 plays with him, and you're gone.
What? Wow. So after you throw a 350-yard game, he's still on you.
Oh, it was even worse. I'd go in his office.
See, that's what I
still remember Carol, his secretary, Monday mornings, big win, Monday, Sunday, and everything's good. My phone would ring, and this is all pre-cell phones living in your pocket. Mm-hmm. And I go, I know that's Carol, and I just want to sleep one day, and nope. Right to Coach Martz's office, 7 a.m. Monday mornings, and MF, and then, you get up, I love you, and gives you a hug, and you leave. It's like, I don't know, does he or not? But, hey, I'll tell you what, though, best coach I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
kept you sharp.
You would never do it again, or you don't want to do it again, but so glad I did it. I learned so much football from him.
Yeah. Someone asked me this question, and before we let you go real quick, and I really had to think about it. What was your most memorable play when you played? And it may not even be something that was a touchdown throw, but it's just something that you thought, oh, man, I shouldn't have done that, but it worked as a quarterback.
Probably my 3rd snap ever. Believe it or not, I've never even thought about that question, but we were 0-5. The Raiders come in 6-0. They got Rod Woodson, Sapp.
Oh, I know, right.
So I'm on the 1-yard line, but they pinned us back. That's my first snap in the NFL. On my own 1, and we're 0-5. I go, uh-oh. So we ran the ball twice. I think we have, 3rd and 10. All right, let's run the ball again, punt. I wanted off that field, and Coach Martz calls was a deep 5 route, which is an out route pretty much, but 20 yards back to 18. It's usually 18 to 16, so I'm 7 yards from my own end zone. I'm throwing it out. Some corner sitting there. That could have been, welcome to the NFL, pick 6, and I threw it. And I thought it was pick 6. I mean, it was to a good place, but Isaac Bruce made a good catch. I took a deep breath, and I was like, okay, I can do this next play. Coach Martz takes a pump, and I threw a pump route to Torrey Holt for about 60 yards. And it was just on from there. But that one play just said, okay, I can do this. But it could have went either way. But, again, you prepare, and everyone says, well, he had a chance, this person didn't. But you have to prepare to be ready. You might only get that one chance, especially in NFL. And fortunately for me, I had a lot of guys around me that were good, and I listened to Coach Martz.
There you go.
Where do you think the NFL goes wrong with its development of young quarterbacks?
I guess there's no one way to skin a cat, but I think drafting, top 5 quarterbacks, if you look over history and think they're going to come in, as we do here, and turn things around, it just doesn't work that way. If I was ever a GM, I would draft, the big guys. And you can always get the guys 3-4 years into the league. Some other team already developed them, especially quarterback. Look with Darnold this year. Let them develop, and then around their 3rd, 4th year, you're coming in, okay, this guy's established himself. You know what you're getting. Not all coaches, but I would say some draft, they like getting that number 1 quarterback pick. That buys them a year, usually.
Right.
Not
You're not here.
But it buys you time. Coaches love buying that 2-3 years. Now, you go out and spend $80, $100 million now, and you bring a quarterback in, i.e. Vegas.
Right.
NFL, not for long. So I think that I would go out and cherry pick a guy that's been in the league 3-4 years rather than try to instantly go and think you're going to win with a guy coming in right out of college.
All right, Mark, before we let you go, tell everybody we're out here at T-Line. Tell everybody a little bit more about T-Line and what you guys have coming up at the Nashville Curling Club.
Yeah, we're in West Nashville. It's actually Charlotte Park right by the Nations, and we do events. We have individual curlers, young, old, men, women. We have everything, kids camps, and with the new league coming, hopefully we get a team here in Nashville, and we can start rooting them on, because you go up north and it's pretty serious up there. And I know soccer's really taken off in Nashville. If we can get, probably won't be as big as soccer, but the interest in curling, it's something that's so much fun. It looks a little tough at first, but it is really something you enjoy, and it's not 5 hours. I'm a golfer. That's 5-6 hours of your day. This is come out for an hour, have fun, and eat, drink here, and you can leave and have a good time with all your buddies or a date or your parents.
There you go. Mark Bulger, 2-time Pro Bowl quarterback here with us. We're out here at T-Line off Duluth Avenue. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Tennessee Titans' Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone.
little thoroughly disappointed. You're thorough.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all 4 Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Great conversation with Mark Bulger. We're out here at T-Line. We're going to be out here. 3HL will be out here. Football and Other Efforts is going to stick around and be out here as well. So we're going to be here all night long pretty much. And it's just – when you walk in, you're like, man, this is kind of tucked away in the middle of nowhere. They have a great outdoor section where you can just chill out there and watch TV and come in. They have bowling lanes, which you may be able to hear over here, but they have 3 or 4 indoor bowling lanes. They have obviously 3, what do we call them, ski lanes or whatever they're called over there. But huge establishment. You guys, even if you're not coming out today, make it a priority to hit this up soon because it's a real fun time. And like Mark said, it doesn't take like 5 hours like golf does. It's about, an hour and a half, and then you can sit here and drink and have some good time. So make sure you guys come out to T-Line over in Duluth Avenue. All right, Blaine, I've seen a few people say this, that because of the defensive head coaches that made it to the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel, Mike Macdonald, and that Mike Macdonald is the first ever, which still blows my mind, first ever defensive play calling head coach to win the Super Bowl, that we should all, that the Super Bowl should make Titans fans feel better about, or feel more positive about the Robert Saleh hire for the Tennessee Titans. So I want to hear from you guys. 615-737-1045. Ross is back at the studio manning the phones. He'll let us know when you guys call in. But does the Super Bowl really change how you view one way or the other Robert Saleh? For me, I'm just like, well, no, because we've kind of seen what Robert Saleh has been in the prior stuff. Doesn't mean that's who he's always going to be. But, I mean, I don't know if there's going to be some wild trend where defensive head coaches start ruling the Super Bowl world and offenses kind of take a back seat.
Defenses rule the world.
Well, that may be true. I guess I should remember who I'm talking to.
Yeah, that's what Kirby told me, so I'm going to put it on Kirby.
Yeah.
Defenses rule the world, man.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. But, it's just kind of interesting that's kind of happened. That did blow me away, too.
Yeah.
So, it's really hard to say. For me, it's just like anything else in life. I mean, it's always, not just one way to skin a cat. So, just kind of worked out that way here recently. But, everybody's its own individual. I've said this before on other topics, but, I just, in a vacuum, you can't say that this is the way to go.
Yeah.
It could be great for Saleh. It could be bad for Saleh. Who knows? I mean, I'm hoping for the best. So,
right.
I'm not saying that, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl, though. I don't know if you could say that. But
I don't think, at least not this year. I know that Vrabel got it done, but I don't think it's going to be this year.
Yeah, so, I get why people think that.
Yeah.
But, if somebody does something for 1 year, you think that's the way to go?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I understand that fans and media alike, that kind of skew on the more positive side, want to take every little bit and try to turn it into, well, it worked for them, so it'll definitely work for the Tennessee Titans. Right. Oh, it worked for them. You should be pumped about this particular situation.
I am pumped about the situation, but I'm not going to be going, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm excited, right? Like Larissa, she said the other day, be excited, but it ain't going to be perfect. And I think people are kind of trying to aim for this perfection and trying to take. Well, it worked for Vrabel in 1 year. It worked for Mike Macdonald after 2 years. It should work for Robert Saleh because he's a defensive head coach. Now he's a play caller like Mike Macdonald. He's a second-time head coach like Mike Vrabel. He has a second-year quarterback like Drake May, so it should work. And I'm like, you just can't do that.
Man, I thought you would go all into that. It's all the connections. That's what you always do, tag them with the connections.
Hey, I have a hard time believing that. Here's the reason why I have a hard time with it. I'm not trying to dismiss Robert Saleh. And I know many people on this show love Mike Vrabel a little too much, Buck. But
who'd you say?
Buck. But I mean, Mike Vrabel showed a lot of success while he was head coach. Robert Saleh did not show the same amount of success. So two different situations. And listen, two different roster situations between the Jets and the Titans and all that kind of stuff. And I know that the Tennessee and Nick Suss put out an article about all the stuff that's the same, like Vrabel to Saleh and all that kind of stuff. Oh. And I'm just like, I love my connections. I love my data, but I don't think that's real data. I think that's just kind of happenstance.
That's not real?
I don't feel like that's real.
But it did happen.
It happened. But, I mean, like, are the Tennessee Titans going to get a favorable schedule this year? Because they had a fourth-place schedule this year, and they had one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. So, like, I don't know.
How did that happen? I don't understand
every other team improved while the Tennessee Titans didn't.
How did that? They're supposed to give us an easy schedule. We had a bad record.
I know. I mean,
oh man,
it's terrible.
They didn't do us any favors.
No,
there, man.
I mean, it just feels that I know a lot of people say that it feels like the NFL sometimes is out to get the Tennessee Titans, like refs and all that. Yeah, that one kind of does feel like they're kind of out to get us.
I was like, oh man, how does it? I thought we're supposed to have an easy schedule. Now we get to see New England with a supposedly tough schedule coming up this season after they had an easier schedule last season.
And listen, a lot of those guys that they signed in free agency kind of flamed out towards the end of that. I mean, Harold Landry started out hot. Everybody was like, oh, the Titans should have re-signed Harold Landry after he had 3.5 sacks through the first 2 weeks. Then he went 15 weeks and got 5 sacks the rest of the way.
Now, he was injured too, by the way.
But he played in all the games.
Yeah, see how you judge it? Don't matter.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter if you're injured. You played.
He played.
That's it.
And then I learned something today about Russell Wilson that I thought was very interesting, but we'll get to that later today when we talk about quarterbacks.
Russell. I thought you were going to talk about Sierra. You probably didn't see this part where she said, "Which ring is more important, your wedding ring or your Super Bowl ring?"
And, well, when she's around, it's wedding ring. When she's not around, Super Bowl ring.
Oh man, I was like, "Oh, Sierra got you on that. You better say the wedding ring."
Yeah, but like. I mean, Robert Spillane was who he was. I mean, he was fine, but I mean, he may not have been worth that. Milton Williams was their most successful addition in my mind. I mean, like, and maybe Stephon Diggs, I throw him in there too. And so, I mean, again, this isn't a great free agency class right now to be spending all that kind of money. So I just have a hard time buying that you can really look at the Super Bowl, look at those two head coaches, look at those rosters and say, a lot of that applies for the Tennessee Titans outside of surface-level observations.
Yeah, you know, what I try to do is, and to your point, I like to look at our team and say, okay, look at the successful team here that won the Super Bowl. What are we capable of doing with the talent that we have accumulated at this point in time?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I like, not only that we hired a defensive guy and he's a play caller and has had success as a defensive coordinator, I like how they rotated their defensive line and kind of built their team around their front, and some of them I'd never heard of and some of them I have. So I say, okay, so maybe we should have depth there all across the board on our defensive line and make sure we get our tackles secured, which I think we have. So I think, okay, we're fine there. And so maybe that way we keep guys fresh on the defensive line and maybe we'd have a shot of being solid.
Yeah.
Not nothing crazy, but, just take little nuances of what they did, maybe even some of their plays, not just defensively but offensively as well. That worked in certain circumstances, and that's what the league is all about: is duplication and copying. It was funny,
copycat league.
Yeah, it's a copycat league. I'd be seeing plays, on defense or offense. I go, dang, we run that, and it was tagged with a different name, I'm sure, but it was really the same results. But you can only take things that fit the styles of players that you have, and that's not putting everybody in a box. But some players are better at doing certain things. That's why when I'm talking about systems, you got to put players in position that they are comfortable in and they fit certain systems. Now, you can't get every player that can play in every system.
Right.
So some will have, production just because, I have two really good wide receivers on the outside, but the slot guy is getting a lot of the balls. Let's say like Wes Welker. But, in which, he's hard to cover in a short little window here, laterally. It's like, oh my God, he's,
well,
super
it's kind of
quick.
like another example would
but
have
he
been
wasn't
like
a Hall
Brandon
of Fame
Stokely.
player.
Right, like Brandon Stokely was another one. You have Reggie Wayne, you got Marvin Harrison, but you're going to Brandon Stokely and Dallas Clark.
Yeah. Then that was the guy I'd be guarding, So I was like, oh, I got a shot, you know. So, in one-on-one, conversations there and coverage. So, you just never know. You try to take little bits and pieces. Everybody's in different situations as far as where they're at building their roster and their team and their quarterback and where they're at in their career. So you try to take little tea leaves from all the games and teams.
Yeah, it's interesting because, this coaching staff on the surface does seem to have kind of shown a history of being able to adapt to their surroundings, right? They're not that rigid.
Yeah.
And I think there was a certain level of rigidity in prior coaching staffs. Heck, you can even see it in the Mike Vrabel in the Super Bowl. There was a little bit of rigidity there in game, but he's going to have some rigidity to him. And I think with these two coaches, I'm speaking of Brian Daboll and Robert Saleh, and even Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley also has kind of ushered in. People forget, he's kind of like the father or grandfather of this kind of scheme that they're looking to run, but it's always been multiple, right? That you've always, of course, you draft players to kind of fit the scheme, but if I got these players already on my roster, who can I use and how can I best put them in position to succeed while I'm still trying to find the guys that really, truly I can do more with? I think you saw that with the Jets in 2021 when Robert Saleh first took over, was that he had all these cornerbacks. They weren't the best cornerbacks, but he was kind of stuck with them. He tried his best to make it succeed and make it work, and he tried to tap into their strengths. It didn't play out that way on the field because you can only do so much with certain players. They still have to go out and execute. But the next year, they kind of do a little overhaul, get what they want, and it kind of works out that way. And I think there's an opportunity here for the Tennessee Titans where it's a little bit more blank slate for these decision makers like Mike Bergonzi, where, hey, we have 4 open cornerback spots. That's scary to say, but they do. We have open edge spots. We maybe have some opportunity on the defensive line. We have some opportunity at wide receiver, tight end, to maybe get guys that we know can work and or guys that we know we want to develop.
Yeah, so that's the exciting part about, Saleh and crew coming in, the coaching staff. They really almost at ground roots of building their team. So that's exciting for your coach because then, you have parts of having decisions on those players that you do pick, whether free agency or the draft. So, man, that there is, and say, hey, man, we get the right players to fit these schemes and systems with the right mindset. I think we'll be on the right track sooner than later. So that's the part that gets me super excited. So I'm interested to see whether it's depth guy, starting guy, it starts with free agency, who they go after first. And sometimes you do your B plan first, like, who's your depth pieces. You're like, oh, man, we're not spending any money. We have all this cap space and money.
Vrabel year they signed Jamarco Jones was the first free agent guy they signed.
Yeah, man.
And then that guy got in a fight and ended up not even making it on the team, I don't think.
Yeah. But, some of those guys are really great pieces, even though they're not household names. They bring, value in different ways, whether it's leadership, development of other players, helping them along the way, but also having production in a certain role. So, actually some of the guys that were role players for us were very vital and important to the team and didn't get a lot of glitz and glamour for the guys who were actually the starters. And they some of those guys were really, really good players and probably on most teams would have started.
Yeah.
So, I kind of really respect those guys who are kind of role players, and eventually when they get their shot to be the starter, they will show whether it was with our team or not after the season was up. So, those guys are really good. Everybody's out there trying to prove something that they belong and that, they can be starters because that's how you get paid.
Well, Sebastian Joseph Day, I think, is a great guy to keep an eye on because there's also a guy with Robert Saleh ties that's hitting.
See, I really
could be
like
hitting free agency.
But he's not a household name.
He's not a household name.
Yeah.
And the guy I'm bringing up is really not a household name. You may recognize the name because you may have seen people talk about him, but John Franklin Myers. Yeah. And he kind of plays the same position on the defensive line as Sebastian Joseph Day.
But Dave's that contract on up, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I thought he had one more year.
No, he was on a 1-year, $6.5 million contract.
Oh, is that right?
And that's a guy, I'd be so interested to see because I would think
man.
Sebastian Joseph Day, I believe, is a little bit younger, but he's been here for 2 years. He's given his all on his team. He's been productive. But does Robert Saleh want to bring in one of his guys? And how willing is Mike Bergonzi going to be do that? Or do they kind of look at, like, there's some loyalty right there. There's a guy that probably we want to pay because he's been here for us and he's proven to be good. Yeah. Because that's a guy I'd bring back in Jihad Ward too.
But does he look like a solid player based off the Jets and the 49ers?
See, that's the interesting thing.
And how he fits in their schemes and system?
Yeah, because I don't think he's that big of a difference between him and John Franklin Myers. And that's the big thing is that, you know me, I'm a data guy. Mm-hmm. But trying to pin down, really, when you look at team to team of Robert Saleh and where he's been and what he's looking for in defensive line, what Aaron White-Cotton has worked with, what those GMs picked for those guys, there's really no rhyme or reason. And I think that's a testament to what Robert Saleh is as a coach, what Aaron White-Cotton has been as a coach, what
maybe they didn't have really anything to do with
and they
those
may have
decisions.
not, and then they have to live with those decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're totally correct. So at the end, when I kind of look at it, I'm like, I feel, and this kind of gets into our conversation about, does the ability for these coaches to work with lesser talented people change your free agency strategy just a little bit? But you do look at these guys that they have worked with, they don't really have anything in common. They may all have, like, over 33-inch arms. That's not really something in common. You get what I'm saying? But I look at it and I go, okay, Robert Saleh, you look at everybody he worked with last year. Alfred Moore, C.J. West, 2 rookies on the line. Kyrus Tonga, I believe, was over there. And then Kalia Davis. These guys that had to play because of injury. Sebastian Joseph Day could provide you more than those guys, and he's already a veteran. So I find it very interesting from a analytical approach or from a free agency draft approach, and really have a hard time trying to put positions in boxes because of what we've seen from Robert Saleh over the years, from defensive coordinator to head coach, then back to defensive coordinator. Same with Gus Bradley. Same with Aaron White-Cotton. And I don't know, Mike Bergonzi, I know he told us, hey, I'm getting the draft profile heading into the last week. He was getting the draft profile on Tuesdays from all the coaches and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's great. But we also don't know how much Mike Bergonzi actually values and uses that input. I'm sure he uses it some as a little bit of maybe a guiding principle or a tiebreaker. But we know that Mike Bergonzi has his own requirements, right? Chad Brinker has his own requirements. So it's really hard for me to just sit here and say, that guy doesn't fit, that guy doesn't fit, that guy fits more, because we've seen Robert Saleh be able to make almost all the players that he has fits.
Well, when I say fit and, schemes and systems, I was referencing body type at tackle. Because sometimes some coaches say, in my scheme, that guy's really a 3-4. I don't run a 3-4.
Yeah. So Tavondre Sweat, is he a nose tackle or is he a shade?
Exactly. That's exactly what they're talking about, yeah.
Sebastian Joseph Day, probably a 3-tech or a 5. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see because I also think John Franklin Myers, who played defensive end, so I believe he was a 5-tech for the Jets. He had some of his best years. Then he goes over to the Broncos, powerhouse Broncos, right? Mm-hmm. And he's been awesome over there, but do they repay him? But he's set to hit free agency.
Has any player looked like Sweat that he has coached?
The closest would be Alfred Collins. Mm-hmm. But also Sweat,
what did he weigh?
333 pounds.
And Sweat's 366.
366 right now. Now he's out there training with Big Jeff.
I know, but you don't base it off of that because you don't know if that's going to happen.
I would say this way. I think that you look at the way that even Denard Wilson kind of used Tavondre Sweat. He didn't really just line. A lot of people think that he's a straight-up nose tackle as far as he lines straight up over the center, head-to-head.
Or if you're watching the games, that's not true.
That is not true, right. Not true. So that's what I was trying to get to is that's not true. And I think the way that the Denard Wilson used him is similar to how he would be used in a 4-3 position-wise. Mm-hmm. But you are right, he hasn't had a guy like that. But I would also contend how many guys...
Based off body type is what I'm saying.
Based off body type. But I would also contend... How many guys in the NFL come in looking like that? Well, with that talent, too.
With that talent. That's super athletic.
You can get some fat guys in there, but
he's not a slug. It's gonna, he can move. So if he just stays healthy, stay focused. How about this? What if he got down to 320?
Oh, if Tavondre Sweat got down to 320, he's going to be the most ripped man. Listen, let me tell you something.
That's 40 pounds, 30 pounds.
Think of all that fat that got turned into muscle. Yeah. Think of how fast he would be.
Well,
even if he got down to 340.
He don't even have to turn into muscle. Just take it off.
Yeah. Well, think about 345, right? He said, if I'm 345, put me in the Hall of Fame. Okay, well, if that's what it takes, you need to be down to 345, bud. Like, if you put those words out there, let's get you down to 345. But either way, we're still talking about a guy that was one of the top 20 defensive tackles in the league, if not top 10, but nobody talks about him because he doesn't have the stats. Mm-hmm. And that's always been the issue with Tavondre Sweat when people tried to dissect his gameplay. And if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm looking at Tavondre Sweat's size and his athletic ability and how he commanded double teams last year, even with Big Jeff on the field. And I'm thinking, I can use the hell out of that. I'll use that guy. I don't care about his body type. Now I want him to get in shape.
Yeah.
But I ain't worried about my prototype or prototypical defensive tackle here, because I'm going to use that guy because he's going to be awesome, because he's going to eat space, which is what you want to do in the NFL. You want to constrict. As a defender, you want to constrict as much space as possible. But when you have 4 guys lined up on the defensive line and one of those is Tavondre Sweat, sometimes it could be Big Jeff in next to him. Maybe it's a rookie like Reuben Bain. That's a lot of power, a lot of strength.
Yeah. No doubt.
Like I get excited about that.
Well, I'm excited about those things and how they putting everything together with the pieces that are already there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I was just like, a little disappointing when Bronley, I still am not. I don't understand culture.
Yeah.
That's a broad term, and you can put anybody in that.
I would guarantee that Robert Saleh would get the most out of Jarvis Brownlee Jr.
Absolutely, because he was a little handsy.
Oh, yeah.
With
he loves to be a little physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves a physical corner. He loves a guy that's not afraid to get up in another person's grill and have good recovery speed doing it. Just saying. I'm with you.
For a cheap price.
Yeah, for cheap. I'm with you. I will never get over that. I will never get over that.
I can understand the McQuarrie. That makes sense. End of the his contract is up at the end of the season. You're not going to re-sign him. Hey, let's get some value out of him. Yeah. Makes sense.
I just won't get over it. All right, coming up next, we'll talk more Tennessee Titans. We'll talk about backup quarterbacks. We're going to talk about that coming up next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Well, we are in February now, and you still haven't accomplished your New Year's resolution, which was to get some LBs off that midsection. And trust me, I'm right there with you. Well, the approach to weight loss with Edge peptide hormone therapy is a little bit different. Make sure all the patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversation in office with our nurse practitioner to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. They use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. And Edge walks you through the process, guiding your treatment plan, answering your questions, supporting you along the way, as well as you get to enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss to make sure you're maintaining all that muscle mass that you have put on to make yourself look nice and sexy. Yes, of course, always got to look good for the ladies, as well as you get to lower your A1C, keeping your cravings in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So call the team at Edge Peptide for all your wellness questions at 615, of course, 724-1878. That's 724-1878. Or you can check them out online at edgepeptide.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. So Bob, who everybody knows, he's over here at the on-site locations all the time, CJ.
Oh, CJ.
He said that
2K.
he thinks the Titans should sign 3 or 4 corners. Now, are you saying high price, CJ? Or like moderately skilled,
We don't have
I guess?
a mic for you.
You could just tell me. 2 starters.
2 starters.
But 3 or 4 corners. Okay, I can agree with that. Mm-hmm. I do think that
the 2 drafts and 2 signs.
Yeah, I think that's how you need to go about it. I think you need to draft a corner because you need to have someone that you – because obviously we don't know what corners are going to be available for sure. But second off, we have no clue what kind of contracts these corners are – I mean, these corner contracts have ranged everywhere. And I just feel that they're so low for a position that's so important as well. Like – Tariq Woolen should get paid more than $8 million. He likely should probably get paid more than $12 million, which was on the high end of what you sent us in the group chat a couple of days ago. So, like, to me, it's like I'm kind of surprised that those are low because he's a proven guy. Alontae Taylor, proven guy.
Oh, I like Taylor. And it's not because he went to – I liked him when he came out.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I'm just looking at some of these guys that are coming out. I mean, Greg Newsom's coming out.
Watch this. I'm about to get you.
Yeah,
does Woolen fit your culture?
Does who?
Woolen.
I think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I have to say think. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, we don't really –
Oh, man.
I know because that's the other funny thing about the whole Robert Saleh thing is like everybody's like, well, he's a culture builder, and I'm like, where's your proof? Like,
well, I'm basing off of what Berganzi said.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, okay, I don't know what he's like in the locker room, right? Because apparently Jarvis Brownlee Jr. It was whatever was going on in the locker room that no player had any clue was going on. So I don't know. I don't know really.
You got to be real careful with that word culture. That's why I keep bringing it up. Because, from the outside, we don't know if he, how he was. It didn't seem like, he was a bad guy. But
that's what someone should ask him at the combine. Right, ask Berganzi at the combine to define culture.
Yeah, because
not what the Titans culture is, but define the word culture. Like, when you hear the word culture, what do you hear? What do you envision? How do you define it? Not what do you want the Titans culture to be, or how do you deem someone a culture fit? No, we need to hear how do you define culture, because I still have a hard time believing Jarvis Brownlee Jr. can't fit this culture or couldn't fit this culture.
That's always not being in the locker room, not knowing what he was day to day, but we never heard about him being late for meetings or being controversial. He was just going to play his way. We
may have heard stuff after the fact, which I don't know if we can count stuff after the fact on some of these things.
Yeah. I'm not a big proponent of that because that's kind of, you don't know if that's excuse-driven for why you did.
Right.
Right. Didn't affect them at all. And then they all supported the player.
Didn't affect his play on the field.
Right. They all support him. And what I'm getting at is I would say he innate in him what he had, I call it a dog.
Yeah.
Like, he was a dog. He was going to fight you regardless if you had the edge on him or not. And he was going to come back and line up again against you. Well, some of those guys you got to have to win this game. Watch this. You go look at Woolen. You go look at the Seahawks, and they got guys like that all over the place.
Go look at Lenore from San Francisco that Robert Saleh put on the outside this year.
See, these dudes, I mean, and especially playing corner, you got to have this way about you where you got to have this confidence in you that you know you're going to get beat and you dare you to let's line up again. Let's see if you can get a touchdown on me again, right? And you got to have this, way about you that you forget those plays that were bad. And still talking smack. Like, hey, man, I just toast you. What are you talking about? So I thought he had that. So is that a culture builder type player, or do you have to have, what I saw from it is you got to have veteran players who kind of lead by example and then can kind of have conversation to make sure they keep him in check.
And in the cornerback room,
because we did see Woolen get out of control, right?
Yeah.
And hit the guy out of bounds, they get the penalty.
And the Titans don't have that guy in the cornerback room.
Well, what is Big Jeff?
Well,
we don't
in
got
the
enough.
defensive side of the room, but not the cornerback room.
Right.
I don't know if that really matters that you need one in every position group, but I think more often than not you probably do want a guy in each position group. But
try.
But that is supposed to be Big Jeff, right? And to be honest, Big Jeff came into his own, a little bit as a leader.
He did.
Really, it should have been Amani Hooker. It should have been Xavier Woods. Like those guys that are they're safeties.
But they're in the room. They're in the room.
They're in the room.
There's no doubt.
And are those guys doing that? I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying they are not.
I wasn't either, but hey, it seemed as though that should have got in check. If that was an issue.
If that was an issue.
But see, every player they talked to after that had no issue with them at all. They praised them.
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see if we're going to have nice guys that are good players, or we're going to have a little bit of edgy guy that's a good player.
You need
sometimes the edgy guy can be in the other direction. You just got to will him back in.
Right.
If he's going to be coachable.
Yep.
Because you can't win in this league without it.
No.
I'm sorry.
You
just can't.
Cannot.
You can't, man. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Did you see Ernest Jones, what he said when they got that trophy?
Well, I mean, every press conference.
Right, that he did, right? That whole year.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, didn't he play for the Titans?
He did. And then he got shipped out.
Oh, man. But he wasn't very good.
That's not been a culture fit.
All right. Man, he was a dog out there.
He was. And he was I thought he was a dog here as well.
I thought he was a good player.
And now, was he as good as what maybe he was over there? No, but he was still getting his feet wet. He was a late addition to this team that year. And then they shipped him off.
Which probably in their shoes, maybe have been the right thing at the time. But like, dang, we're going to let's keep shipping good quality players away.
And then you replaced him with Cody Barton. The next year.
Well,
you wouldn't have had to do that if you would have kept Ernest Jones. Can you imagine Ernest Jones and Cedric Gray in the center of that defense last year?
Oh, stop
Ooh,
that.
boy.
Why do you keep teasing me?
You
teaser.
I'm a teaser. Yeah. All right, here's a tease for you. We're going to talk about Robert Saleh and how he affects free agency in terms of the quality of the players that you may have to get away with. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Hey, it's Zach Lyons. If you wear glasses, you already know the struggle. And right now, trying to read this in the shade is a kind of a struggle for me because I am constantly looking for my glasses, waking up blind without them, knocking them off the nightstand. Don't even get me started on vacation. Swimming, forget it. Fogging up, smudges, scratches. My whole day revolves around these things so that I can see. And the truth is, I've been dealing with blurry vision for years. Glasses help, but they're also a hassle. And lately, I've been also thinking about there has to be a better way. That's when I started hearing from colleagues here at Cumulus who had vision correction done by Dr. Horn at Vision for Life, and every single one of them said the same thing. They wished they'd done it sooner. So I did my homework, read the reviews, and decided it was time. I'm going to have my vision corrected by Dr. Horn, and I'll walk you guys through the experience step by step before, during, and after over the next 2 weeks. If you're tired of dealing with glasses, contacts, or blurry vision, don't keep putting it off. Call Vision for Life at 615-436-2020 or visit visionforlife.com to schedule your consultation. I'll keep you posted, and trust me, I'm excited to finally see clearly.
Good afternoon from the Circus Sports of the Main Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. The Vols got a big win last night at Mississippi State, 73-64. Jacoby Gillespie put up 18 to lead the team in scoring. Nate Ament had 16, and J.P. Estrella dropped 12 points. Tennessee will host LSU on Saturday in Knoxville with tip-off at 5 p.m. Central. We've had some NFL coaching news. The Miami Dolphins hired former Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo as their new pass game coordinator. The Chiefs have hired former Cowboys and Titans running back DeMarco Murray as their new running backs coach. And just 10 minutes ago, Tom Pelissero reported that the Las Vegas Raiders are hiring Mike McCoy as their assistant head coach. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors, 615-737-1045. And, hey, we're out here live as USA Hockey, Olympic Hockey men's team is taking the rink. We're out here live at T-Line, so this is a great place to come watch some hockey. You got some vibes here with the curling rink over next to us. Watching some bowling going on between producer Bert, producer Bananas, and Tyler, who works over at the country music station. And Tyler has gotten 3 strikes in a row and is whooping butt over there. And then I look over and I see Jackson get a gutter ball.
Is this true, Jackson? You do a
He
gutter
needs some
ball?
coaching from you.
You did a gutter ball?
He threw 3 gutter balls.
It's good that you're proud of that. Good. You sound excited. Good. That's the word. At least you're starting there. That's it.
It can only go up.
Yeah.
You can only go up. 1 pin is next. We'll take it in baby steps.
Oh, man. What was the issue? Why was the wow.
I don't know. All right. So we got a little bit of Tennessee Titans adjacent head coaching news, or actually just coaching news here.
Who reported it?
Interim head coach Mike McCoy just got a job with the Las Vegas Raiders as the assistant head coach on Clint Kubiak's staff.
Oh.
So he's going over there with a little bit of a higher job title than what he had initially here, but obviously not a higher job title than interim head coach.
Man, so it did him some good.
Did him some good. Yeah. His time here, what they saw. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of connection between Garrett Kubiak and Mike McCoy. You know, we want to throw that out there. But, hey.
What's the connect?
They used to work together.
They used to work at where?
Denver, I believe. They crossed paths at Denver.
Okay.
So
that makes sense then.
There you go. But I mean,
he's following the recipe of what the Seahawks did by bringing in my guy that's to connect Leslie Frazier.
Ooh, yeah. See,
with McDonald. Yeah. I texted old Les and said congratulations. He said super excited, man.
Yeah.
He said he's more excited about that than when the 85 Bears. I said, hey man, you better tell you.
Yeah.
When he was an actual player, so that's
right.
How long it's been, man. So congratulations.
Yeah, but I mean, good for Mike McCoy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, bring in an experienced guy that's been in your seat before, because you haven't done a head coach, right? He also knows a little.
Into.
He's been a play caller, been a head coach. That's good. That's good for him. Good for Mike McCoy. This kind of does.
And he's a West Coast guy.
He is a West Coast guy. So this does kind of lead me into something.
Oh, you set me up.
No, I'm not setting you up.
Jackson set
But
me
all
up.
the people, like fans, some of the media, making fun of the Giants for hiring the cast-offs of the Tennessee Titans. You guys do realize the Tennessee Titans are doing the same thing. They're hiring the cast-off of the Jets. They're hiring the cast-off of the Giants. I don't see why we're making fun of the Giants for at least they're putting Brian Callahan in a position to succeed.
Oh, yeah, quarterback.
And a quarterback coach. At least that Matt Nagy has proven to be a good play caller, has proven to be a pretty good OC. He's not the head coach, right? That may be good for him. Denard Wilson is going to have better parts. Frank Bush, we'll see. But, I know Tim Kelly's been the tight ends coach, I think, over there, and I guess he's still the tight ends coach this year.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think it's a very hypocritical for people to be blasting the Giants from the Titans' perspective when they turned around and done the same thing.
Oh, well, I probably have a different perspective. I just laugh because I go, oh, man, they just switching coaches.
Right. That's the funny part.
At the end of the day, you win with the talent, and then, everything else falls into place. So you just never know, man. There's no rhyme or reason why some coaches have success and others don't. And at different places, they go to another place and they have great success. Right. So, it's hilarious. But it is funny, though.
It is. It's very funny how that all worked out. I mean, like, you thought Matt Nagy could be – we all kind of – penciled him in as head coach here, and he's now over there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did. And then we thought, Harbaugh was gets over there. You got Harbaugh, but let me ask you this:
Dang, Harbaugh, man. I think Harbaugh really is what disappoints me.
That's the disappointment.
Because if he would have got hired here,
what's his staff going to look like?
I don't know.
Is that because nobody wants to be in New York? Is that what it is?
No, man.
I don't know. I thought it was I thought the way that he's kind of assembled his staff outside of Denard Wilson, who has a connection to Harbaugh from their time at Baltimore. I was kind of very surprised by how this staff came together.
Me too.
I do want to ask you this. Let's say Jackson Dart takes a big leap, looks pretty good in year 2. Who gets credit for it, Matt Nagy or Brian Callahan? Who gets credit for it and who should get credit for it? Because we had this conversation the other day.
Oh, wow. I at least could say this.
Yeah.
That Callahan, being the quarterback's coach, could say he could legitimately, in second year when Dart was kind of a part-time starter, especially if you see him take an uptick, he can then put it on his resume. No question that he had an impact on his player if that player Dart had success. There's no question about it. This is not a proven player yet in the National Football League.
A real resume builder.
Yes, it's how you got to look at it.
Yeah.
Not a fake one.
Not a fake one like we kind of got fooled into, or at least I got fooled into a little bit. You didn't. I did.
I don't see how Steve Spagnuolo is going to say, I developed blame man about last year. I don't think I'm on his resume.
Yeah, I've learned a lot after doing this show for a little bit over a year and a half. I've learned a lot about what really goes on. Yes. Who really needs credit? Who really needs that? And what really matters when you're looking at these coaches' resumes and stuff like that. Because, again, you don't really think about it, but when he initially got the job, we all tout, he worked with Joe Burrow, he did this. I mean, when I say we, I don't mean to include you, but then you're like, well, couldn't anybody, after doing this for a year and a half, couldn't anybody have developed Joe Burrow?
Well, I'm going to say this. My teammate at Ball State was Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, man, how much are you coaching Drew Brees? He looked at me like weird.
Yeah.
He said, what? I said, yeah, how much are you taking Tim? He says, hey, Drew Brees texts me at 4 a.m. every day and tells me what we are doing.
Yeah.
I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. He says, so I can't act like I'm coaching Drew Brees.
And I think that was the story with Peyton Manning and him, too.
You're right.
Yeah.
So those, once you're a proven player in this league, you understand what you have to do to operate.
Yeah.
Now, with Dart, I think he will get a lot of credit if Dart, and blame if he plays bad. So, to his credit, I think his heart's in the right place. I think he is a good coach. I think they just jumped a step. I think he should have, in my opinion, this is how you know if you're, a good play caller is if you weren't ever going to get a chance to be a play caller when he was with the Bengals, that 5-year window, I think, or so, where he had the title, but he wasn't making calls. He should have left and tried to find another job. Not to say that he wasn't trying to, but to show that he can be a play caller. If that was something that it was on the docket that he wanted to be a play caller.
Because he had been interviewing for
head coach. Or he could have just came to us
and
just been
a play caller.
And no, he could have just been a head coach.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. CEO style. Yeah.
But he still he wanted to be a play caller.
Because he hadn't scratched that itch.
Yes, because he had never done it.
And that's the thing, too, is like, he was also getting head coaching interviews after that Super Bowl run. So it wasn't just he got those interviews that year. So he was already getting interviews. And if maybe that was an opportunity to kind of sit back and say, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get a job this cycle after just this team went to the Super Bowl. Maybe I need to go get a little bit more experience. Because there is no, like you say, like Coach Max says on the show all the time, there is no, it's all about experience. Yeah. You can't manufacture experience. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah, that was really weird to me, But, some guys, because every situation is the same, some have had success without play calling, but when you're on the sideline, you have to be play caller and head coach, man. That is a whole different animal.
And Zach Taylor's kind of a weird case study for
those guys
right?
have been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how they were. Well, all of those guys had play calling first.
Yeah.
Then they became head coaches. So then it became a little easier process.
Kevin O'Connell, Kyle Shanahan, all those guys had play calling. Zach Taylor's kind of one of the few offensive guys I'm kind of thinking of off the top of my head that had success, that wasn't an offensive play caller, but also you didn't have success your first year. You had some success until Joe Burrow got injured, and then Joe Burrow's Joe Burrow. So and he's the most tenured coach in the AFC North right now, which is wild.
Weird. Yeah. With the bumbling Bengals.
Yeah, and so how much of that is going to
that's just
Kevin
one in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
But everybody's not going to be like that.
Because even Kevin Stefanski had 1 year play calling. I think it was actually a year and a half because I think he was interim OC under Mike Zimmer at the Vikings, but he had at least 1 year. So even Kevin Stefanski, who had 1 year, and you just kind of go through it. Clint Kubiak, right? He's been interviewed a few times before now, and then he's got his first gig play calling last year with the Saints, gets it again this year with the Seahawks, but 2 years of play calling.
Yeah.
So you don't see Clay Kubiak
if Dart does a great job, let's say he has a great job, not whether they're middle of the road type record or what have you, do you think then he should get another head coach job or should he call plays next?
I think you got to go back and call plays. I don't know if you really should be able to go from quarterback coach to head coach. Even with your prior experience, because I do think you kind of need to show what's your feel for the game. Maybe he doesn't want to call plays, though. Matt Nagy said if he became head coach, I don't want to call plays the next go-around. I just want to be a CO-style head coach. It's possible. I don't know how Brian Callahan's going to feel about that, but maybe that is your opportunity to take. But I do think it kind of sucks that you may have to work your way back up. I think it's what's best for him to work your way back up.
Oh, yeah. He may decide that, he could be CEO and not have to play call. Then he can always blame the other person.
There you go. Hey, Lonnie, it's always good to have one person you can blame. Hey, look, Robert Saleh, he could blame, Brian Daboll's the head coach of the offense.
Oh, man. Well, you never know. He could say, I'm really not calling defense. Gus Bradley is.
Hey, here you go. This is what will happen. Jackson Dart will have a good year. Nagy gets a head coaching job. Brian Callahan is his play calling OC.
Ooh, I like it.
You like it? We've done it. We're gonna put it out there.
From what I've talked, I know Callahan firsthand, and the people I know over at Kansas City, they're starting with Andy Reid and Spagnuolo's. That Nagy's a really good human being. So I always want to cheer for those guys that are really good dudes. Been in this league a long time, so I hope he gets a shot.
Let's talk more about the Tennessee Titans roster when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here, a 104.5 The Zone, broadcasting live from T-Line over on Duluth Avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. Got the Olympic hockey games on. We got Olympic curling on. We got producer curling over here. We got promotions versus producers over here to the right. So the great time. The bar area is filled. Come get some food. We got some drinks for you guys. It's $25 to get you some limited ice time, but also it will get you a free appetizer as well. Also, just for an announcement, the Tennessee Titans are partnering with the American Red Cross to host a blood drive on March 18th at Nissan Stadium to help rebuild Nashville's blood supply after the recent winter ice storm. You can go register to donate and save lives at redcrossblood.org. That's easy for me to say, or TennesseeTitans.com. Blaine, when it comes to this roster, I've seen a few people have this sentiment, and we've kind of talked about a little bit about it's a similar approach, but this isn't the main driver of maybe buying a bunch of different pieces in free agency, not just big, expensive pieces. But I do wonder the ability of a coaching staff to develop players, that kind of high-level ability, that's something that obviously the staff and the coaches kind of have to figure out themselves. Does that allow you to maybe take chances of not having to go out and get a premier player in your mind, that maybe you can just go a little bit cheaper because you got guys that can maybe do a little bit more with less? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure where you're at on that angle. Huh?
I go back and forth because I guess I'm having a hard time separating when you're looking at this free agency class, right? Because this free agency class doesn't really look great on paper. And listen, you can almost say that about almost every year of free agency. Very few times do the big names hit the market. Very few times do they all hit the market at once, right? You may have like one or two guys some years. You may have 0 guys another year. But I do look at maybe a guy that we're probably not talking enough about, but a cornerback, Martin Emerson. Like, he's a kind of a physical guy. He's about 5'11", so he doesn't, I don't think, fit the needs of the. He's a cornerback from, I believe he most recently played with the Cleveland Browns.
Emerson. He's 22.
Yeah.
Something like, yeah.
So, like, that's a guy that's hitting free agency that nobody's really talking about, right? Like, nobody's really putting him on your free agency list at a high rate. But that's a guy that maybe the Tennessee Titans can target and then use money elsewhere later on down the road because, again, you do get to roll over any unused cap that you don't have this year. And they're pretty close to already hitting their 90% over the next 3 years, rolling average over the 3 years. So,
well, he's been a starter, so, I mean, I'm going to go back to always what I keep saying. I don't know if he fits the culture.
Yeah.
So, because I don't know. I think that's the kind of players they're targeting, maybe him, but, he plays in a way that is not fiery. He just goes about his business as a pro. To play defense, to have success, I think you kind of want to have some fire. He's a cornerback that just plays the game and doesn't say anything. So that may be the guy they want.
I'll tell you a position that we haven't really talked about quite yet, but we talked about it a lot last offseason, talked a lot about it this season, backup quarterback. And I think there is a good backup quarterback market, and I think there is strength in having a good veteran backup quarterback. And I think you obviously got Will Levis, right? He needs to be in the discussion whether fans want him here or not, right? I think you have to keep it open that Will Levis could be their backup quarterback.
Is Allen still here too?
No, he was only a 1-year contract.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Praise be. So, obviously, you got your guy that's already here, Will Levis, right? Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of would probably agree, especially after what we saw in the preseason and in the regular season game. Oof. Maybe he'll be the backup to Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart up there. Maybe Brian Callahan can pull a few strings to get him up there. But, okay, so Will Levis obviously needs to be in the conversation. I think there's another tier of players that there are 3 backup quarterbacks. There's technically 4, but I think there's 3 quality backup quarterbacks that are veterans in the league but also have experience in Brian Dable's terminology, his scheme, because he's worked with them. Tyrod Taylor, Russell Wilson, and Mitch Trubisky. All three are slated to hit free agency. And I say slated because that doesn't mean they're going to hit free agency. But they're expected to hit free agency. And those are three guys. I don't know where Wilson is at when it comes to wanting to be a starter. I'm sure he does want to be a starter. But did you know that, like, in the last practice heading into the Week 2 game, he suffered.
Week 2?
Yeah, the Week 2 game. So the reason why I'm bringing this up real quick.
He got injured?
He had a grade 2 hamstring tear. Tried to play through it. He actually went out and threw for like 400 yards, I think, that game. 450 yards and 3 touchdowns in a 40-37 loss. He didn't tell anybody, though, until after the season that he had a grade 2 hamstring tear. But he got benched because of poor performance.
Not that game, though.
Not that game. It was after he went 0-3. But I don't know where he's at in wanting to be a starter. I'm sure he wants to be a starter because he probably saw Aaron Rodgers, who's a few years older, try to do it for him. But I don't think Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are on the same plane of existence right now when it comes to that. But those are three guys that have experience, veteran presences, specifically Tyrod Taylor and Mitch Trubisky, who have been backups for many, many years. Those are guys that I would be interested in bringing in, as well as that gives you flexibility with Will Levis. Because Will Levis is cheap anyway, so you might as well upgrade this backup quarterback position. And those are 4 guys right there. Levis, then you have Wilson, Taylor, Trubisky. I don't know. I would be spending a little bit of my money trying to avoid the Brandon Allen incident.
Man, any of those guys connected to Dable?
Yeah, Wilson, Taylor, Trubisky,
all of them. Yeah, ooh.
And that's the thing. So
I was trying to think of Trubisky.
Yeah, he had 1 year, Buffalo,
right.
2021. Now, he's been in Buffalo since then, but he had 1 year with Brian Dable there. Dang. And then Tyrod Taylor had crossed over with the New York Giants, and then Russell Wilson also, obviously, last year with the New York Giants, which also he did get technically benched. So I don't know how that conversation, how that relationship went down the rest of the way. But those are 3 guys that have that experience with Brian Dable directly.
Yeah, I'd be open to all those guys. I mean, as backup, as long as they understand they're the backup.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson can't come here and be like, I'm a starter. I've always been a starter. Not on this team.
Yeah.
So I have to say that to my cousin. Yeah, Russell. So, yeah, that'd be a tough conversation. I don't know if he would come to the Titans, if that would be something that he would want to do. And not just that he's a backup, but he's on a backup of a team that is, in the process of, developing their team. If I'm Russell Wilson, it's all about the rings now, whether my role is a backup or even a third-string quarterback, because you all know, you may get an opportunity. So for him, to me, it would be about rings. So I think Mitch Trubisky is probably the best bet for me. Solid athlete. He's got some experience in the league. I think he could be somewhat of a tutor, understanding his role. Yeah, I kind of like him.
And Tyrod Taylor also has experience as Bustin' Diamond brings up in the F&M Bank chat, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. He also has 1 year crossover with Robert Saleh as well. So he had 2 years with Brian Dable, 1 year with Robert Saleh. Tyrod Taylor.
Oh.
I know that's not as exciting, but, I mean, it's at least better than Brandon Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not as exciting. But then there's 2 other guys.
Well, because we've seen him in games and started.
He's steady.
I thought Brandon Allen was just really a duplicate of Callahan as a coach.
Yeah.
Like, he hadn't proven anything. So, watch this. His value in the locker room amongst the players visually would be like, who is he?
Right.
I've never seen him play. Well, you've seen Russell Wilson play. You've seen Tyrod Taylor play. And you've even seen Mitch Trubisky play, these guys.
Yep.
And you know how good they are, whether they're starting or not. So just them, they're capable. Just that brings belief and stability. So I think that's why they went wrong there, Callahan. So I think I'm open to all of them, really.
Yeah. And I will also say this.
I really believe, watch this, not unless he plays well enough in the preseason they try to trade him, I think Will Levis is the number 2.
I'm with you. Like, I'm not ruling that out. I know a lot of people rule that out because they automatically think he's going to get traded.
Well,
maybe he does. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say you definitely need to have a guy in this camp, even if you have to carry 3 quarterbacks. I don't think that's some big thing to have to carry 3 quarterbacks in today's NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just feel better if it was someone other than Will Levis, someone that could come in and know them. And maybe it's like a know this system, be able to kind of be that guy in the room that was supposed to be Brandon Allen, right? That was his selling point.
Yeah.
But the problem is, when Brandon Allen went out in that game after Cam Ward went down, and I look at him and I go, I don't think I would ever have known that was Brandon Allen by looking at him in the face. Like, I just didn't know what he looked like. And at least these guys, like, you know what they are. And listen, you could get a Tommy DeVito, right? Or you can get a guy that has experience in this system from some other coach. But I like these three guys. And there's two more guys I want to throw out there.
Who?
Joe Flacco and Gardner Minshew. We both have talked about trying to get Joe Flacco here last year. Gardner Minshew turned out got paid less than Brandon Allen did last year, and that's another guy that I would be interested in bringing in because obviously he could be vet men at this point and still want to come here. Maybe you just throw him an extra $1 million to come here. Those are two guys that I feel like we've seen play fill in for games that can get you buy you time if Cam Ward were to miss time at any point during the season.
I like the other three better.
I'm with you.
There's a part of me, like, if we want to make Minshew the third guy, I kind of like that because he has this way about him that you got to love. You know, if he gets in the game, man, that he's a fighter. He's going to beat you with his legs, his arm, quick passing game. I don't think he just from afar watching Dayball and how the different quarterbacks he's had, I just don't think his arm is a big arm like he likes, where Flacco kind of fits that a little bit more. I think Flacco, it may sound weird, but I think Flacco wants to go to a team probably where he can win a championship or that he guarantees that I'm the number 2.
Yeah.
So that means there is no, fight with him and Levis. Like, I'm the guy. And they could be like, oh, well, we're going to trade him. Well, he's asked to play good enough for you to trade him. If not, unless you cut him.
That is true.
So
that is true.
I think Flacco is all about, hey, man, I still got some juice in this tank, and, I'll be the 2. But when I get out there, I'll be paid as a starter, so he gets some incentive-based type deal. He's a big-arm guy. I actually am impressed of his longevity and how well he's still playing today. Man, that is unbelievable. He played for all the AFC North teams?
Yeah.
Except, the Steelers.
No, he's not played for the Steelers.
Yeah, so he's, man, they obviously the Bengals, all those teams in there, they like him. So
I wish Jameis was available. I wish he didn't sign a 2-year contract. Because I bet if he didn't sign a 2-year contract and he was a free agent, I would put money that Jameis is going to be down here in Nashville.
Man.
I hate that he is under a contract. I want to ask this question, and before I ask this question, I want everybody to know, this is not to draft Cam Ward's replacement. But if you're sitting there in the 7th round and maybe a quarterback like Cade Klubnik, Drew Aller, who had success in college, didn't have success this last year, is kind of sitting there, would you maybe take a chance and say, yeah, maybe I'll just go with 3 young quarterbacks in Will Levis, Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, or maybe I'll see if I can develop a guy that maybe can turn around and be traded later on down the road or develop a backup quarterback. Are you totally out on spending a 6th or a 7th round pick on a quarterback? I think I'm out on a 6th round pick, but I think I could do a 7th round. Like, if you get to that point, you're just kind of throwing darts anyway. Why not throw darts at a quarterback that is not really going to threaten Cam Ward? Do you get what I'm saying?
Man, that's so basically you're saying I'm a dart.
So, you are a dart thrower, right? Nobody knew really if you were going to go for sure or not. But it's like Quinn Ewers.
No, absolutely, I was going to get drafted.
Yeah.
I was the 3rd.
No, be who you were. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
you
eventually became the dart. But those Flyers, I just think they are much better now than ever before. I really believe that.
James Williams and Jalen Harrell, right? They turned out pretty good for dart throws.
I think, now 7th rounders and undrafted players, high quality undrafted players that are ranked to be drafted that don't get drafted. I think people are undervaluing the type of players that you're missing out on just because they weren't drafted or because they're late round picks. Shador's a 5th round.
Yeah.
That's where he went. Now, whether we thought he should go there,
I mean, that's to be fair.
And he's going to go into the the.
But it's like for every Jalen Harrell or James Williams, you get a Colton Dow. You know what I'm saying? Quinn Ewers was an obvious start throw for the Miami Dolphins. So I mean, that's just not the that's just the nature of the draft.
But no, I think. But I think you could say that over the long haul. But here in the last 5 years, I think that's kind of changed. I think you can get some, maybe in some situations, starters in later round. It just depends. You got to get some luck there, but you got to do your homework. Some guys may drop for different reasons, whether they went to a bigger school, didn't get invited to combine. People lose sight on them, but they're still projected as decent players. So for me, I wouldn't draft a quarterback with the way this team is structured today. I'm not even taking a flyer in 7th round because one thing I don't know is if we're going to trade Levis.
Yeah.
All right. So then if we sign a veteran, that's 3 quarterbacks. I mean, how much am I? Yeah.
Especially if you sign a quarterback, I would be totally.
And I don't know what they think of Levis, whether they want to trade him or not.
Because it will be interesting to see what Brian Dable and these guys do think of Will Levis. They may be way higher on them than people think.
I think so. When I look at his skill set, I think he fits the bill a little bit. And I'm not saying as a starter. Obviously, Cam Moore's a starter, but I think he kind of fits what they like. So we'll see if that plays out that way. I don't know, but it looks like that to me. But he could play good enough in preseason where, hey, man, we get a 5th, 6th rounder for him. I think I'd do that if I was.
Oh man, if you got like a 5th rounder, that'd be outstanding.
These are decisions that we don't know, and I don't think they know. These are discussions they're having, and you say, okay, but we got to have a backup plan, so we have to get a veteran quarterback. Well, what if they go get a veteran quarterback, but they still have Levis, and then you weren't able to trade him. So now you have 3 quarterbacks. So, you don't know how this is going to play out because they don't either. Because you don't know if somebody's going to give you value. So then you may sit there and say, well, we got to cut him. We signed Flacco. Flacco's got to be our 2.
Well, you had Ryan. It was Ryan Tannehill, Will Levis, and Malik Willis. Is that right? Am I putting those guys? No, it wasn't Ryan Tannehill. Who was it with Malik Willis when he got traded?
I don't know.
Man, who was that? Who was our backup quarterback in 2023 or 2024? Man, I can't even remember who it was at this point. But the case, to your point, I mean, they were kind of rolling. They rolled with Will Levis, someone else, and Malik Willis, and they ended up trading Malik Willis. Yeah. And we were actually sitting there our show. We said we would keep Malik Willis over a second kicker. We were going down our final 53, and we're like, we would keep Malik Willis, and they ended up trading Malik Willis.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised that they did, though, because he improved, and I think that decision was done before preseason even started.
And Will Levis may be a different conversation because he is a second-round talent. Mm-hmm. You invested – you didn't invest a second-round pick, but the team invested a second-round pick in him at some point in time. Like, it wasn't Mark Bergon. May have been Chad Brinker, but was it Bergonzi? Was it Saleh? Was it Dable?
I thought he was a third-round pick.
No, he was second. Tajay Spears was third. They traded up in the second for him, for Will Levis.
At the bottom of the second?
Top of the second, my friend.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, for Will Levis.
I thought you were
Malik Willis. No, sorry, Will Levis. I was like, I realized who you were saying.
I'm like,
it was Mason Rudolph. That's who it was. I forgot about Mason Rudolph. But so they had traded up. Did they also trade up for Malik Willis though, or did they stick and pick Malik Willis? I think they did, but that was third round.
Right.
So with Will Levis, it may be a different situation than what it was. And listen, he gets kind of a blank slate just as much as everybody else does with a new regime. Maybe they saw enough in, by the way, the Tim Kelly offense that he did look better in. Very similar. Earhart Perkins, very similar to Brian Dable's offense.
Oh, man. So maybe we could go to very similar, but maybe he gets traded to the Giants.
Maybe he gets. You think he wants to get traded over to Brian Callahan? I don't know.
Never know.
But it is interesting though when you talk about the system that Will Levis looked the best in was Tim Kelly's, which is a branch off of the Earhart Perkins, which is Brian Dable's offense. So just saying, I think we should all be giving a little bit more credence to the idea of Will Levis being backup quarterback here. Whether he wants to or not, when the agents come into play, that's a different story. But from sheer talent, I think you could do a way worse at backup quarterback to Will Levis. Thought the same thing last year. That has not wavered. I think you could do way worse than Will Levis. They did do way worse than Will Levis because Will Levis got injured or opted for surgery. But Brandon Allen, as you can see, you could do way worse than Will Levis.
Opted for surgery, it means you're injured, correct?
Correct. But, I mean, he seemed to be playing with it. I don't know the whole story. There's people out there that want to, allege things about that whole surgery or whatever. I don't really care. I just know he had surgery. He wasn't available, and we were stuck with Brandon Allen.
Well, it was the timing of it. That's what it
Right.
really was. That's why people kind of question it. But I don't. I've seen that happen numerous times.
Right.
As I said before, where guys think they can play through it, and they realize that, I don't think I can play through this, and then I need the surgery. And by the way, it was just real convenient that he knew he wasn't going to be the starter.
Yeah. The timing is what it gets. I wasn't going to allege it, but, it seemed a little suspicious.
It was the timing, but, maybe he thought he could. I said off the bat I couldn't believe that he was going to play with that injury because I have the same injury, and I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and I'm not a thrower.
Yeah.
And so I can't even I had to switch hands. I can't even throw with my arm like that. So, this is one. So
he's had that injury twice
now. So I
think 3 times maybe.
I couldn't believe he thought he could go through it. I thought Will Levis is a really tough dude.
Yeah.
I think he still had the remnants of being that I'm an athlete than saying that I'm a quarterback.
Yeah.
And once that mindset flips, and you will see where he's at, man, I think he could have success with the right coach. I think he could have success.
And this could be the right coach and the right staff that sees something in him. And listen, it doesn't hurt to develop a quarterback and let him get you a compensatory pick later when he hits free.
Watch this. Let's see how the fans feel. Cam Ward had that shoulder injury the last game. Let's see if he waits till the beginning of the season. Go, dang, my shoulder is still messed up.
Let me tell you, people are going to be pissed. They're going to be pissed.
See, because it could actually happen.
Yeah.
He is going to. That's why I said he needs to have a window here where they say in about a month, hey, man, where are you at with your shoulder?
Yeah.
Whether they're working with his rehab or not.
You better know now. You should have already known in my mind.
See, and you guess what? Things change, though.
Yeah.
Guess what? Hackett. He could go out here and throw, and then he tweaks it.
You better not be out here curling. That's all I got to say.
See?
We're out here at T-Line. We'll wrap up the show coming up next while we're broadcasting live from T-Line. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
There are a lot of things Americans split 50-50 on. Politics, working from home versus the office, coffee versus tea. But there's one thing we all agree on. Hey, it's Blaine Bishop, and taking your car in for repairs can be complicated. Your repair is only as good as the person under the hood. And most of the problems in fixing your vehicle is the knowledge issue with the actual people repairing your car, not someone trying to rip you off. I don't know about that, right? No way that could happen. A lot of techs are not properly trained, so they end up guessing what to do, and that causes delays in getting your vehicle back or repeat visits for the exact same issue. And boy, does that piss me off. And for around a quarter century, Eurofix has done things differently. Every visit starts with a free 15-minute no-rinse inspection, so you know what's going on before we start the work. And at Eurofix, they pay their technicians more than any other company does to attract the best and the brightest talent around. And Eurofix still fixes European vehicles at below dealer pricing, but with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work Eurofix performs. And rental cars are available as well. Locally owned, family run, in 5 locations all over the state, and more to come. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can check them out online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045. We got Super Talk across from us, and now we've devolved into talking about Bad Bunny lyrics and all this stuff in between breaks. I got Brent here, got Blaine over here.
I got Hitman's microphone.
We got Kirby talking about like a Facebook grandpa.
I will say this, Zach. I did witness Bert going against Lucas in curling, and they had the Hellman brothers out there who hope to be in the Olympics 4 years from now. And Bert was really good.
Oh, really?
Like Bert threw a stone that ended up in the middle, like, of the target or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, but like Bert was really good. Also, Kirby doesn't know what he's talking about, so there's that.
There is that.
Have fun. So,
Rachel's up next.
Bailey or what are we doing it for?
I'm going Bailey right now.
Yeah.
Give me the guy that finishes.
Here you go, Hitman.
I'm going Reeves.
I like it. Reese.
Yeah, who cares? Reese. I don't even know his name. Reese. Is that his name? Oh, I don't know. Next week it'll be Bailey, and then the week after that it's going to be Bane, and then I'm going to just combine all three of them, and then I don't know what we're going to do.
I like it. The Frankenstein. He's going to Frankenstein.
Yeah, and I'm going to combine them all, and then I'm going to say they're going to trade the pick.
Let me say something about T-Line first up. These are the most comfortable seats we've ever sat at in a remote.
I know. Yeah.
We're all laid back. It's all cushioned up.
Yeah, I thought of something really great. What was it? Oh, who I would pick? Oh, man. I think I'm going to take offensive tackle.
Oh, don't
Who's
do
the
that
number one
me.
offensive tackle?
Spencer Fano or Mawaga or whatever.
Yeah, they
got Mawai.
If they take a tackle, what are you going to do?
Probably not show up the next day because I'll drink myself into a stupor and I'll be in a ditch somewhere. I'll be upset. Listen, you could do a lot of things at the number 4 pick that I would be happy with. You could draft Arvell Reese. You could draft Caleb Downs. You could draft Jeremiah Love, Reuben Bain, David Bailey. Like, you can draft a lot of guys. You draft offensive tackle, that one's going to throw me up the wall.
I think Brent's pushing for offensive
I will be on the radio.
For offensive tackle, Brent. Offensive tackle with the 4th pick. That's what Brent said.
That next day, that next show, if they draft an offensive tackle, I will be calling for their jobs.
Maybe. Does that mean they're going to move Latham inside?
I don't know whether
people just turned on the radio and said, we said they're going to draft an offensive tackle.
What if they said they draft a guard? Because there's a lot of people who think Mawai may be a guard, but he's the best offensive lineman, but he may be a guard.
Watch this. How big is his hands and how long is his
I don't know. We'll have to look at the combine. He hasn't been at the combine yet.
That's why, Jackson, that's why you didn't try to go to play college, huh? Your arms are too short. Your arms are too short.
Do you really think they're going to draft an offensive tackle at 4? Come on, Zach.
There's no way that's going to be the best play. He's just saying if they would.
No, I was joking around.
Yeah. Hey, man, I think the best player in the draft is either the safety or the running back.
I know.
Honestly.
They are.
Oh, no doubt.
There is no doubt they are.
Yeah.
But we all know that's not what happens.
What do you think about Caleb Downs?
Oh, no, he's special.
Yeah.
I don't think the Titans need a safety. We just drafted Winston, who's a first-round talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just – and then you got Hooker, and then you got Woods as the backup. I just don't know if you – man, they're not in position. If you were a middle-of-the-road team, I think you could take risk there.
Yeah.
But you're not in that position. Like, if you're the Seattle Seahawks, you can do it.
You can't do that.
I know him personally.
Yeah.
I love the kid.
Yeah.
I think he could do everything great.
Safety, we've talked about this before. Safety is one of those positions where people want to, like, put you in a box. And so you're either a box safety or you're a center fielder. That guy's all of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yep.
Kind of like Hitman.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say.
That's what they say. All right.
I went last round.
I'll tell you what we'll say.
Who actually has some linebacker to him, too, in that 4-6.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll say. Is that I've enjoyed T-Line today.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be back for Football and Other Efforts. We're going to broadcast live here. But, hey, tomorrow we'll be back in studio. Look forward to hearing from all you guys.
We're going to be back in studio tomorrow?
I know. I'd rather just come and sit in these chairs. Can we take these chairs with us to the studio?
Man. Oh, are they nice?
Oh, they're so comfortable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited. Well, tomorrow's Friday, though.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's that.
Casual Friday. We'll just come back to T-Line. All right. That'll do it for us. 3HL's up next has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.